Radio.
I ran into Neil and we started talking. And Neil began to tell me a story about his life and I guess what has happened over the last year or two. And instantly it grabbed me and I was like, wow. And I've brought Neil on the show. He's also wanted to join us on the show today because there's a few reasons. We want to pay tribute to someone so beautiful, but at the same time, we want to create awareness of what's happened to Neil and his family. So firstly, Neil, good morning and thank you for joining us in the Virgin Radio studios.
Good morning, Chris.
Let's talk about your beautiful little daughter, Maddie. It happened how long ago?
It will be 2 years on the 14th of January.
2 years on the 14th of January that you lost your beautiful little daughter.
Yeah.
And as we were discussing it in the store that day, what actually happened?
Maddie, 10 years old, she had some mild allergies, particularly to milk, anything dairy. She'd been swimming with her school friends. She'd come home. She saw my wife. They were going to have some dinner, but my wife had a health bar, and Maddie asked whether or not she could try a little piece of the health bar with just 4 natural ingredients. Now, Maddie had been tested for different allergies, and so Maddie asked whether or not she could have a little piece of the health bar, and Verity has a rule with Maddie in case, because a lot of foods don't actually say there's milk in them, and so if it's something Maddie hasn't had before, Maddie just takes a tiny piece, like a shaving with her teeth, just to see if anything happens. And on even though it said there was no milk in the bar, and we're pretty sure maybe that there wasn't any milk, Maddie tried a bit and said to my wife, my lips are tingling. So she said, okay, have some water. This has happened before at that point, when milk shouldn't have been in something, and normally things are fine. But then Maddie said, Mum, I've got very strong abdominal pain. Well, she didn't say that. She said, I've got a stomachache.
Sure.
And Verity said, on a scale of 1 to 10, what are we talking about? And she said, it's a 10, Mum. So I said, right, let's get in the car. Let's go to the doctor. Let's not take any chances. So she was at the doctor's within 5 or 6 minutes, because it's their local GP. Maddie vomited as she got out of the car, in the car park. She went in, she spoke to the doctor, and Maddie was set up. She was fine. This is, say, 10 minutes after, roughly 10 minutes after she'd taken the tiny crumb. And then Maddie suddenly looked at my wife, and Verity explained that she said, Mum, I can't breathe. So at that point, Verity obviously raised the alarm. She went in to see the doctor. The doctor unfortunately thought Maddie was having an asthma attack. Maddie knew she wasn't having an asthma attack. And then she basically said a few last words to my wife, and then she collapsed. And then at that point, the doctor realised, they started giving her an EpiPen, which is a shot of adrenaline, which a lot of people may have heard about. But she went into cardiac arrest, and they couldn't bring her back.
She was 10 years old when she passed away. As a father, you told me this story, and I just instantly thought of my 2 girls. How have you guys been able to get through this?
I think it's a case of a lot of love. We've got very good family support. We've got great friends in France, but we've got great friends all over. I've got an incredible network of friends here that look after me, and have kept me strong.
One of the reasons why I wanted to get you on was to create awareness. Now, as I said, I've got 2 little girls, and when you told me this story, it got to me, and I mean, it's getting to me now. Creating awareness for what happened. Now, you said that you were aware that she had some type of allergy.
Yep.
Going forward, as a parent, as I am, and Rossi and Pretty one day, and everyone listening, what measures could have you done, or could have you known now
the thing that we've discovered since we lost Maddie, is because obviously I researched an anaphylactic shock, find out more about it.
Yep.
Maddie wasn't categorised as being put into the risk zone. She should have been. And what I'm here to tell people today is, if your child has an allergy, and I'm not just talking young children, maybe a late teenager, it may even be adults. If you have an allergy and you have asthma, you are at risk. Okay? And I would suggest, I don't want to create alarm, but I would suggest that you just talk to your GP
about it.
And just, talk to an expert, just find out more about it, because you are at greater risk. And yes, Maddie, you may be told that your child has a mild allergy. Allergies are mild on some days, they're severe on other days. It really depends on what you've been doing. If your child's been exercising, it can have an effect on the reaction. You may have a teenage daughter. Depending on the hormonal changes she goes through during the month, and what she's just been doing, what might be a mild allergy one day, and if she's just been exercising, it can have a devastating effect on them, and this has happened to people.
You brought some beautiful pictures of her in the studio today.
She's gorgeous.
And she's beautiful. And again, from a father's point of view, man, I just, I applaud you that you're in the studio this morning doing this, because I don't know if I could even do that, There's a few things that we're going to talk about here when it comes to anaphylactic shock, which is including the pens. Is that right? There's a few things and symptoms that we have to look out for.
Yeah. There's a lot of people have heard that the things like EpiPen. There's one called Emerad and there's one called Jex that are shots of adrenaline. It's also known as epinephrine. Now, one thing is the anaphylactic campaign and GPs will encourage children to understand how to use their EpiPen or their particular auto-injector. One thing, kids are very good at doing this apparently. Maddie obviously didn't have the opportunity, but one thing I would ask all young teenagers out there that may carry an EpiPen, don't be embarrassed by it. Tell your friends, and all your friends, if you have a friend who carries an EpiPen, don't take the mickey out of them. Please don't take the mickey out of them. Now, tell them understand how to use it.
Right.
If you're having a reaction, and a lot of parents that children carry EpiPens will know this, and children that carry EpiPens will know this, is a shot of adrenaline isn't going to hurt you. So if you think you are having an anaphylactic shock,
hit it anyway.
Just take it.
Yep.
Just take it. It's not a cure.
Right.
It buys you time.
Okay.
It will buy you time.
I want to hit that website again. It's anaphylacticcampaign.org.uk, and there's just more information there that can really break it down. As I said, as a father, there are things that we can now look. There are symptoms that you were saying that you can look for.
Yeah, I mean, the symptom that showed up on Maddie was the abdominal pain and the nausea and vomiting. A lot of people in the UK and around the world will always associate anaphylactic shock with things like bee stings, which do create an anaphylactic shock, but they always associate it, especially with like your face swells up. That does happen, but it's not the only symptom. And you need to look for generalised flushing of the skin. You need to look for like a nettle rash. People have like the feeling of impending doom. Your throat and your mouth might swell. Your heart rate may change. So these are all things that you should look out for, but I think the one obviously that's sticking with me is the abdominal pain and the vomiting.
Okay.
If your child's eaten something and they get that, don't hang around. Rush, phone the ambulance service as soon as possible, and just say anaphylaxis. And they need to get there quickly, very, very quickly.
Sorry, I don't have any children of my own, but just to hear you come on and talk about something like this, I can understand, like I can feel the pain that you're going through, and I think the UAE is feeling your pain with you and your family, and we're here with you. And thank you so much for sharing your story, because I think it could maybe one day help someone else who's going through the same thing, you know?
Exactly.
So I think it's really important. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
We were talking off the radio right now about how important, especially the peanut allergy. I've got 2 daughters, and I know for a fact that we can't send any food with peanuts to school. But you're saying there are a lot of restaurants, and there's a lot of bars, for example, that do offer peanuts without actually checking if anyone is allergic to them.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of since this happened to Maddie, I've met people that have, grown-ups that have severe allergies to peanuts. My basic message is to a lot of the golf clubs, the restaurants and the bars out there, please stop behaving irresponsibly. Don't put nuts on bars when someone buys a drink. You're only doing it to make more money. Please don't do it. Ask someone if they want some nuts, and then if people want them, then have them.
Everyone is saying thank you for creating awareness of this. Guys, the website is online. I want you to check it out. Anaphylacticcampaign.org.uk. You can learn more about it. It is so important to create awareness for this, especially for the children, especially if you have children. Neil, what we want to do here this morning is, and this is not going to make it any easier, but we just want to try to fulfill the loss, especially in the time of year that it is. And we're never going to get close to it, but there's a couple of companies that have come on board right now, and they've just gone, we've heard the story, can we do something? So I just want to run through right now for your beautiful family, and for Maddie, who I know is listening right now. Wooju.com are giving you 500 dirhams to spend for your beautiful wife on exclusive beauty products, okay? That's coming your way.
Wow, thank you.
Majid Al Fatame have heard about what's just gone on. Ski Dubai, they want to give you 4 passes to go to Ski Dubai and go to that beautiful snow park. You can take the family. I know some of the kids are coming here for Christmas time. Okay, Vox Cinemas are giving you 10 IMAX passes. All right, Majid Al Fatame are also giving you 5,000 dirhams as a gift card to go from the Mall of Emirates, and you can check out everything that's happening there. They've got a huge festive campaign happening, so they want to give you 5,000 dirhams, the guys from MOE, okay?
Thank you. It's very, very nice.
Again, this is not to make it easy, but they just want to give. Everyone wants to give right now. You've lost your daughter. Nothing can compare. Fairmont on the Palm, okay? They're giving you a night stay for the entire family at Fairmont. They've got the Fairmont room. You're getting breakfast, and you're getting pool, and you're getting a beach day pass. This is a good one, and I'm glad these guys came to it. Etihad Airways are giving you 2 round trips from London to Abu Dhabi for your 2 girls at any time next year to fly back into Abu Dhabi and here in the UAE. So I want to say thank you to Etihad for coming to the party on that one as well.
Thank you very much.
So it's all for you. As I said, it's not even close to what you've lost, but if there's anything of people just wanting to give to you, Neil, and your family, so we want to say thank you so much for joining us here on Virgin Radio this morning. Maria is going to try to find it hard, but Maria, good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
You wanted to...
I just want to say thank you to you. Thank you so much for taking this courage and coming on air and making everyone aware, whoever's going through this. I have a daughter who's allergic to coconut, and I don't know what to say.
I know.
Thank you, Maria.
Yeah, Neil, I think that's what it is. It's the courage. Thank you, Maria. It's the courage of just getting up and being able to share your story. To little Maddie, who's up there watching and listening to you, should be so proud of your dad for doing this, okay? So we want to say thank you so much. Is there anything you want to say before we get out?
No. I think we've covered things. Just want to say, Maddie, special girl, beautiful girl, made us all laugh, such a character. We're all very proud of you, Maddie. You've always been amazing, and I know you're with me, darling. I know you're still with me. Love you.
Talking about Bruno Mars and how Maddie loved it.
Yeah,
he loved Bruno. What was it about Bruno Mars that she loved?
I don't know. She kind of put my other daughters on to Bruno Mars and my wife a few years back, and yeah, he was her favourite artist. Yeah.
All right. Well, for your beautiful daughter, who we lost nearly 2 years ago, I'm going to play you Bruno Mars. This is dedicated to her little 10-year-old Maddie. We love you, Maddie. We love you. It's Virgin. Good morning.
eyes make the stars look like they're not shining. Her hair falls perfectly without her trying.